A lot of people wonder when it comes to goal achievement and manifesting your goals, how do you refrain from being obsessed with your goal? And that's a very common question when it comes to the law of attraction. And, different spaces like that, people are confused about how not to obsess over their goals because obviously there's consequences for obsessing over your goals. Now, to begin with this video, just understand that not obsessing is a very simple process. It's not as bad as you would think. And I remember, I used to believe that it was very complicated in the beginning as well. I used to believe that it was very, that it wasn't straightforward or that it wasn't obvious. But the truth is that the solutions are very obvious. They're a lot more obvious than we're willing to believe. So just to start that off, not obsessing is a very simple process. And obsessing in itself does not mean to stop thinking about something or to stop focusing on something. And it doesn't mean to not take any action. So when people think about not obsessing, that's usually correlated to not being attached. And that could come to a lot of very misleading perspectives. Two of which is to stop thinking about it completely and to stop taking any action. So people associate detachment or letting go or not obsessing to something in a form of essentially letting go is not a physical process. It's an internal process. Even if I stop taking action from achieving a goal, am I still attached? Have I truly let go, even though I've stopped taking action? And ironically, when people try to, stop thinking about their goals, the reality is that they're still thinking about their goals by trying not to think about their goals. The mind is very funny when you think about that. So, needless to say, obsessing does not mean to stop thinking about it, and it doesn't mean to not take any action. Those are some very big misconceptions that you shouldn't believe those. So, obsession tends to stem from inflated attachment, which delays your desire. So, when your attachment crosses a certain threshold, I would recommend you to gauge your level of attachment. If it crosses the level where your sense of well-being or your sense of fulfillment is dependent towards an external situation or an external entity in your life, then you more than likely have inflated attachment. So that is what inflated attachment is. And when you have inflated attachment, you delay your goal from showing up or manifesting, if you will. Because weirdly enough, whenever you're attached to achieving a goal, even if you are a hard worker and you take action, it's a very interesting thing because believe it or not, your level of attachment does influence how fast you achieve things in life. Even if things take a long time, if you're attached and if you're constantly fearing the worst, then you will actually influence that delay period to be extended for a longer period of time. So that's the power of attachment. Now, to soothe this inflated attachment or obsession, if you will, don't stop taking action. Don't compromise your ability to take action. Living in physical reality, you have to take action. There's no way around it. So I just find that way of thinking very stupid and very ignorant, if I'm being honest. So don't stop taking action. Don't compromise one of your biggest facets to even achieving your goals. Don't compromise that, but allow the obsession to occur. So remember what I said earlier. Obsession is not external. It's internal. So if you're obsessing over a goal or a thing, whether it's a relationship, whether it's pertains to any traumatic events or your finances or etc., right? Regardless of what that thing of focus is, allow that obsession to occur. Because when you allow it to occur, something very interesting happens. So when you allow the obsession to occur, you're giving it a reason to dissolve. But when you try to, keep it under your control and you try to force the obsession to leave, only then will the obsession itself become even stronger. It'll be out of your control. A lot of people don't understand where their control lies when it comes to dealing with internal matters, especially things of this nature when you're obsessing over something. And the solution to dissolving this obsession is to simply let it be. Allow it to run its course without any, don't fear it spiraling, because usually when you fear that it'll spiral, it spirals. But when you accept it for what it is, it doesn't spiral. So that's another misconception. It's not about the routine or the actions that you take relative to your obsessions. Your obsessions are not related to whatever actions you take or the routine that you have, but it's more or less internal. So the level of importance that you attribute to whatever thing you're wanting to achieve or whatever you're focused on in general is what matters the most. So don't compromise your ability to take action, because that's a very important facet of your ability to achieve your goals. It's a very flawed way of thinking that you should stop taking action to let go. Letting go is internal, it is not external. And we're going to make that very clear. So that is related to obsession. Obsession is a byproduct of attachment, and so letting go encompasses both terminologies, or both phrases, if you will, obsession and letting go. If you found this helpful, make sure to like this video and subscribe if you find this content helpful. If you want to speak with me one-on-one about whatever your circumstances are and the practices that you're currently using, speaking mainly about manifestation and identity shifting, and we will go over the internal changes, the identity-based changes that you need to apply in order to change your situation, to manifest the goals that you actually want to achieve. So if that sounds like you, if you're interested, go down there in the description and click the link below to schedule your free call with me so we could tackle this together. So again, if you found this helpful, like and subscribe. And yeah, without further ado, I conclude this video.